We're going to learn about the conditional, which is used to describe what people would do or what would happen in certain circumstances. And good news, you already know how to form it. It's made up of two things that you've already learned: the future stem followed by the imperfect ending. So let's take a look at those imparfait endings: AIS, AIS, AIT, IONSIEZ, AIENT. And you just add that onto the future stem. So for ER, IR, RE verbs, it's just the infinitive form with the imperfect ending added on. For RE verbs, don't forget we don't include that last E. And also remember we've got some irregular stems for our irregular verbs: avoir, or, être sûr, aller ir, faire faire, voir vers, and so on. And there is a complete list of irregular stems that you should know. You might want to review those. Also, let's talk about some situations that you would use the conditional. For example, si followed by imparfait, the result clause is conditional. Si tu étais au lycée à Paris, tu parlerais français en classe. If you were in high school in Paris, you would, conditional, speak French in class. And now let's compare that to another si clause that we know using the future tense. So si followed by present, the result clause is in the future. And those are for things that might happen in the future. So let's make a comparison. Si plus imparfait for things that maybe won't happen. For example, si j'avais de l'argent, j'achèterais une voiture. If I had money, but I don't, I would buy a car. Si nous étions en vacances, nous irions à la plage. If you were on vacation, but you're not, we would go to the beach. And that result clause is in conditional. Compare that. So those are things that probably won't happen in the future, and let's compare that to things that might happen. Si j'ai l'argent, j'achèterai une nouvelle robe. If I have money, and I might, I will buy a new dress. Si nous sommes en vacances, nous irons à la plage. If we are on vacation, and we might be, we will go to the beach. So those are two examples of si clauses, but please pay attention. Si followed by imperfect. The result clause is always in conditional. It's speaking about things that, the way things could have been if things had been different. There's also another situation that you would use the conditional, and that's when you want to speak more politely. So you already know one of these. You've been using it since Français 1. Je voudrais, you know, means I would like. Now, it is possible to say je veux te parler, I want to talk to you. But it's a little bit nicer to say je voudrais te parler. You can go into a restaurant and say je veux un hamburger. But it's a little bit nicer to soften that request by making that verb conditional. Je voudrais un hamburger. And it is common to speak politely using the conditional form of the verbs pouvoir and devoir as well. So, peux-tu m'aider? Can you help me? That's common, and it's appropriate in most situations. But if you wanted to add an extra level of politeness, pourrais-tu m'aider? And then pay attention to the difference in devoir. Tu dois étudier. You must study. You have to study. And then tu devrais étudier, changing that verb to conditional, is changing the meaning a little bit. You're not telling them they must study. You're saying you should study. And so that is a very useful form to know, since it's likely that you would give advice or speak more politely using those verbs. And that's all that we have for the conditional tense.